Good morning, beautifuls. So, did you know that these have the same amount of sugar in them? 10 teaspoons to be exact. Now, why should this matter? Well, when I went to uni, we thought that sugar was just an empty calorie, that it just caused a little bit of tooth decay and that was about it. But that's over 25 years ago and we've come a long way, and we realise that this is not just a sweet and innocent as we originally thought. In actual fact, what we've realised is that sugar is 50% glucose and 50% fructose, and that the glucose component has different effects than the fructose component. So what the glucose does is the glucose sets off a whole chain of events in our bloodstream. So when we drink, say, a can of Coke, and we flood our bloodstream with glucose, our body all of a sudden has a blood glucose level up here, and it likes to be within this range. So it does all that it possibly can to keep within this healthy range. Now, when you've had that can of Coke and your glucose level is up here, a whole heap of hormones are set off. Now, one of those is adrenaline. That's where you get the energy from. One of them is dopamine. That's why you feel really good. And the other one is your body releases heaps of insulin. Now, insulin opens the doors of your cells so that the glucose can go in, and then the level of glucose can come back down again. But because when we had something like this, a sweet form of sugar, we flooded our bloodstream with glucose, and our body releases so much insulin, instead of just coming back down to here, now it comes back down to here, which is too low, and your body wants to bring it up again. So now it releases different hormones to get you to eat, and these hormones make you feel starving. So as you can see, every time you have something like this, it puts you in this cycle. So you go from feeling fantastic and then half an hour later feeling starving again, or half an hour to 60 minutes. So you're in this constant cycle. Now, the other part of sugar is fructose. And what does the fructose do? Well, the fructose has to go straight to the liver, and that is like alcohol. So fructose and alcohol have to go straight to the liver to get metabolized. Now, in the liver, if your body doesn't need it for energy, and over 70% of Australians do not need it for energy because we're overweight or obese, it is made into liver fat. Or if your liver has had enough, then it comes onto your belly as abdominal fat, which is the unhealthiest place to have any excess weight. Now, in the liver, when alcohol and fructose are both being broken down, one of the byproducts is uric acid, which is associated with gout, which is why you get aches and pains. Which is why when people come off sugar, they often say, "I can't believe my aches and pains have gone." Now, the other thing is also that in fructose and alcohol metabolism, they make a type of fat which is associated with cardiovascular disease or heart disease. It also restricts your blood vessels, which can be a contributor to high blood pressure. So, as you can see, this is not a sweet, innocent victim. This has been responsible, and in many cases, many experts are saying that it is at the root cause of nearly all of our lifestyle modern diseases. And in actual fact, it causes inflammation as well, which they say is at the root of all of our diseases. So one of the very best things that you can do is to start your journey by getting rid of the sweet drinks, cutting out totally or reducing all of your sweet drinks. Because every time you drink one of these sweet drinks, or even, choc milk, you're putting yourself in that cycle, and you are, now I can't remember whether I even spoke about whether this stuff is also addictive, because I talk about this all the time, but it is addictive as well. And I think that that's actually good news, because it means that you can do something about it. You don't have to look at yourself as being weak-willed or having no discipline, because it's addictive. And so that means you don't have to feel guilty. We just have to look at the problem in a different way and start to reduce the sugar so that it gets rid of that so we can start to work on the issues. So a lot of information there. I'd love to hear, if you knew that, because it's quite relatively new information about the last 5 to 10 years about the effects of fructose. So, yes, just a bit to ponder on Monday morning. Love to hear your comments or answer any of your questions. Talk to you soon.